Hello, everybody. I am Ginny Rossuck, and I am on here tonight with my friend Darlene Geloso. I'll tell you a little bit about why we're here, why we're sharing. We are both moms of now adult children in the autism spectrum, and we've had a lot of momming experience. And in the very, very beginning, we both felt very isolated, very alone, and really search for other people in a situation like ourselves so that we wouldn't be alone and we could learn from one another. And through that process, I've had the great opportunity of meeting Darlene. Going back to my journey, my son is now 58 years old, and Darlene's son is in his 30s, and she'll tell you a little bit about Sal. I'm very anxious to have you hear Darlene's story because it's a very nice journey that I think you can all learn from. Where we both met was we were both moms at a program called Wildwood Programs, and that is a series of programs, and not-for-profit, that my husband and I, along with some other families, founded way back around 1967. And that was a very instrumental part of our journey. And through the Wildwood Programs, we've met thousands of other parents like ourselves, and so we no longer feel alone. Darlene has a very unique story with her son Sal. And Darlene, I'm going to ask you to just tell us a little bit about Sal, tell us a little bit about your journey at Wildwood, and then we're going to get into a new science that we're both now sharing and wanting to share with other people because it's being so beneficial to our families and especially with our children in the autism spectrum. So tell us a little bit about you and Sal as a young person.
Okay, I started working at Wildwood at 1993, and I'm still working there today. Our journey started out about when Sal was 18 months. I really didn't notice anything. Well, I didn't know anything about autism, but my brother-in-law said these recommended we go see a doctor, and the prognosis wasn't really good. We were told Sal may never speak. Your son, who you expect everything to be good, may never speak. So we ended up getting intervention, early services, and at the age of 3, Sal started summer camp, and he started doing really good. And through the music therapy and the programs and working there, it was just amazing the leaps and bounds he made. It took a little while. Probably didn't speak till he's about 7 years old, but he could sing before he could talk. And that was the one good thing. I started working there because there was no after school program, so I had to work the time that he worked, and I saw what Sal needed to do. And luckily I had a wonderful mentor. Indira Singh was like the savior. She was my mentor. She was Sal's second mother, and Beth McLaughlin was the music therapist. And there's been so many teachers and staff and friends that he's met along the way that have helped him through the journey. He will be 33 tomorrow, so he'll be with Wildwood about 30 years.
It's been such a blessing for both of us because we've never been alone since the day that we all started working together, and new people are always coming on board all the time, and it's a very, very strong organization. And truthfully, people do not work at Wildwood because they're in it for the money. They want to help be a part of the journey of helping people live to the fullest of their abilities. And my goodness, we can just God bless every one of them.
Definitely.
About 7 years ago, because I'd been in a very severe truck accident, I'd been in a collision with a tractor trailer truck and crushed. My whole body was crushed. And then I had another fall as a result of that. And so I was in a lot of pain. And my best friends, who happen to live in Florida right now, had been at a pain clinic there. And they were introduced to a new science. They, like me, were people who didn't want to get trapped into that pharmaceutical mode. Medicine is good if you need it. But usually when you take one medication, it leads to a need for another medication, and then that story just continues. And neither one of us felt that way. So we were pretty much invested in the world that we now know of as nutrigenomics. And not many people know that, but that is basically the science of how nutrients and nutritional compounds can help the cells of your body to be the healthiest they can be. And that led to a science that's about 50 years old right now, the science of how our bodies, our cells tend to rust out from the inside out. Looks like an old chair sitting outside for years and years, and it turns rusty and gradually gets very brittle and falls apart. We know now, because science has progressed, that oxidative stress caused by free radical damage is the primary root cause of well over 200 to 300 different diseases and disorders, including autism, including attention deficit disorders, including all those in the neurological spectrum, spectrum of weaknesses. So that's where Darlene and I came as a part of our second journey, because my friends introduced this to us and I found my body radically changed. So of course we decided that it wouldn't be fair to not give our son the experience of this. And we found that so much happened. After a period of time, we noticed that, his eye contact, his speech, his flexibility, his empathy, his sense of humor, his anxiety and his depression, all of those things were changing radically, so that everybody was noticing that, and even his sister was noticing the changes in him. So of course I do what moms do, and what we did with Wildwood, Darlene and I both told everybody that wanted to hear us about Wildwood, and now we've started to tell everybody we can about this new science that is a unique, one-of-its-kind product. And Darlene, you talk about what happened and how many years it actually took for you to be ready to hear it.
I'd say about 3 years. I started in the fall, but I was one of the lucky ones. It just really took hold of me. I could sleep, I could think, feel so much better, like I haven't felt in decades. I'm talking since I've been a young kid. Gone through a lot of stuff, and it just made everything come together. That was the important.
What you started taking was something that we fondly call our little yellow pill. It looks like this. It was another thing that you started taking because you've been pretty much addicted to Pepsi and Coca-Cola and all that kind of bad stuff. And so you switched and you started using a sample of this, which we now fondly drink, and I drink every day. But Darlene, within a very short period of time, people started giving you feedback about you. What did they tell you?
I think they spoke to you rather than me. People were noticing I was much more alive, much more able to concentrate and get things organized a lot better. When you go through, you don't get REM sleep, you go through a couple hours sleep at night, you can't function your best. And it's just so fantastic. I've quit soda, which was one of the better things. But with this, you get the energy, you don't get the drain after it's gone, and you can feel the effects in your body right away. Well, at least for me. I mean, everybody has their own different, but I was glad to find something that was natural.
And that's absolutely beautiful. And you're absolutely right, because people were saying to me, what is Darlene doing that's different? She's different. She's more focused. And people were counting on you more. So, of course, what did you do as a good mom when you found something that worked this well for you? Who else did you offer it to?
Oh, well, I looked at the science and the neurology and, your body to actually do what it's supposed to do. It gets rid of all the environmental and the stresses and everything of everyday life we have nowadays. I want to try it on Sal. There was an issue with the insurance. So by the time the insurance came through, he was on Axio and NRF2, and he didn't need it anymore. I mean, even his worker didn't want to say anything. She noticed the difference. He was improved a little bit more attentive, but there was just a change in him. And the one good thing is his hair started growing back. Which is common with a lot of people, but it started growing back. And that was like one of the amazing things.
As a part of our journey, what we've both done is we've also done a lot of research. We know that there are well over 20 independently funded university studies on PubMed.gov. We know that now, because we network largely through social media with parents like ourselves from across the world, Australia, Europe, the Orient, there are children with autism all over the world, where the parents have really embraced this and said, well, let me give this a try. Let's see if I can help my child's life be more fulfilled. We are all thrilled. In fact, within our own organization now, there's a number of us moms who have shared this with our children, and staff and parents and brothers and sisters are really celebrating the changes in our individuals. So that's really happy news. We thought that we also have a short video of Sal. Put this up, Darlene. Tell people what they're going to see.
Okay, this is just after 9/11. Sal didn't understand fully what was going on, but he knew that people were sad, and he wanted to do something to make them happy. And he saw when people were singing the national anthem that it seemed to make him a little bit happier. I connected with the River Rats off, huge hockey fan. That was my stress relief at the time before I found NRF2 and Axia. And he sang God Bless America in front of 5,000 people. And it was just amazing.
One of the major news medias in our area did an interview.
Kid of the week, and luckily somebody took amateur video of it. But then they came and they interviewed me, Beth McLaughlin, and Sal, and I look at it now and it's just amazing, the difference.
That's absolutely wonderful. And we'll start it.
worldwide is speaking or performing before an audience. But an autistic boy from Rotterdam had no such fear at the Pepsi Arena Monday. Mary Beth Wenger has tonight's Capital Kids.
You do left hand.
All right.
At age 3, Sal Perello was diagnosed as autistic. Doctors said he might never be verbal, but his mother believed in him. When he started imitating sounds he heard on TV, she knew there was much more in Sal's future than anyone dreamed possible.
He liked music. He could sing before he could talk.
At age 14, how things have changed. Just mention John Kennedy.
John Kennedy, ask not what your country can do for you.
C, try G.
Sal has perfect musical pitch, and while some autistics seem in their own world, Sal is perfectly attuned to the nation's grief over September 11th.
Those twin building collapsed on September 11th, 2001.
And how did you feel when you saw that?
They're scary.
Wanting to help, Sal asked his mom if he could sing God Bless America at the River Rats game on Monday.
What he correlates singing God Bless America to is the healing of the buildings. And that's how he expressed understanding of what happened.
So before a Pepsi Arena crowd, the boy some thought would never speak, spoke from the heart.
What did you want people to feel when you sang?
Happy.
Every parent has great expectations for their child, but I think Sal's accomplished more than, and he's going to accomplish a lot more. It may not be in everybody's eyes that he's accomplished a lot, but he has accomplished something that a lot of people won't ever do.
God bless America.
Mary Beth Wenger, Channel 6 News.
I love watching that. And watching that now after, talking to him lately, just focuses in, like you could tell his eyes, he was kind of like backing off and kind of looking down. Now he can answer a lot of questions, and he can concentrate on more things than he had prior to.
Beautiful. And every time I see that, Darlene, I have goose pimples, and what it shares, what it helps us as moms feel, and why our hearts are so full and we want to share it with everybody else in the world, is that you never give up. There is always a way to help our guys grow. And our daughter is just so excited over her brother's change. We're a different kind of family than we were. And we all know that the gifts we have been given, the gifts that we've created together, and the gifts we've been given in these new science, the products, with a company that is 100% above board and quality, and focused on how our bodies work and how our bodies can do what they were designed to do and become the best that we can be. So the future is bright, and Darlene and I, our hearts are full, and we're just always wanting to share with other people what we've learned that works. And if anybody wants to learn along with us, we're happy to give you more specifics than we can possibly do in a medium like this.
Well, Ginny, one thing I want to say is a lot of corporations don't care about, because you know what? They do better when you do better, and they want to promote this health, and that's the important part of the business. It doesn't, they want you to succeed, and people are there to help you, which you want the products, you want the education for people to have the education.
I'm so delighted to have you as a mom partner, and I thank you very, very much for being part of this interview, and we'll make it available to anybody who wants to listen.
Yeah, and they can always contact me and ask me questions if they want to. I mean,
Yes. Yes, they can.
To me, I love sharing it. I love to talk to people, and just I actually feel happy.
You're a gift, Darlene.
I know what happiness is. It's amazing. And sometimes I get a little excited.
Absolutely beautiful. I treasure that.